All right, so now let's get into event binding. And the way event binding works and what it is really is just I want to make this dog or this dog details, in fact, also be able to bark. So I go up here and I say I'm going to put a button here, and that button is going to have a few things on it. It's just going to say bark, and then we're going to event bind to this button. So you can do it with components, but you can also do it with things like buttons or anything else that can have event bindings like inputs and such. So here we're going to say on click, and that's how you would do it in Angular. Instead of saying on click, you would go ahead and put it in parentheses and just put in the action that you want to get there. And then on in here, we're going to put a method of some kind of what we want to do. So I'm going to say on click, we're just going to say handle click, right? And this handle click is going to go right down here to say handle click. And if you go ahead and you'll see that if I console.log and this and dog details, we'll go back to our application. All of our dogs have barks now, and you'll see that boom, we have barks just like that. We're going to make this a little bit better by putting a class on this. And that class is going to be btn and then btn-waves. Perfect. Looks good. And there we go. There's our click event. And now, instead of having that, we're going to go ahead and emit an event instead. So the way we make events for our component here is we have to go up here and we have to import something called the output. It's just a nice little decorator, just like the input, and event emitter, which is actually going to be emitting the event. So then right after our inputs, we're going to put our outputs, and just like that, we're going to have a variable. And this variable is going to be let's say bark. Let's just say bark, yeah. And then that's going to be equal to a new event emitter, just like that. And this event emitter is not going to emit any information just yet. So we're just going to go ahead and put that, just some nice little objects inside these nice little things right here. Usually I'd put something like a name or something here, but now it's just going to be that. So now right here we're going to say in our handle click, we're going to say bark dot this dot bark, this dot bark dot emit, and we're going to emit just an empty object. Let's say, yep, that's all we're going to do. So then we're going to go to our app dot component, and we're going to, just like we did for our button, whenever this barks or whenever there is a bark that happens, we're going to do a bark, right? So do bark, all right, and then we're going to pass in here the dogs that did that bark. So we're going to say dog2.name because that's what we can do here. Now in our app.component, we're going to make that method do bark, and then we're going to say the name, and that's just a string. And then we're going to console.log that name. So that name is going to be name has barked. Easy enough, right? So then we go to our application and we press bark. It looks like we're not getting our bark. Let's see what's going on there. We got bark.emit, just.bark.emit. Right, because I only put it on the last one and not all of them. So let's go ahead and put them on all of them. Boom, boom, boom. Change the names. Mm, do I want to change the names? Let's just make it undefined for these guys. And then dog one for this guy. And then we go down to those guys. And we click and you'll see that Harry barked and Barry barked. Harry barks and then Barry barks. Nice and easy. That's how we would event bind to that. It's pretty much just like that for everything. So naturally you think, what could I actually use this for? maybe you want to change the dog's name. So maybe you want to change the dog that we have here. So let's say we're going to change dog one. We're going to say on name change, or let's say name change just like that. And we're going to say change dog one. And we're going to go ahead and put an event. And this event is the object that is emitted for our name change. So let's go to our app component first and make this change dog method. And that's going to have a name that we're going to change it to. We're going to change dog one, so we're going to say this dot dog one dot name, and we're going to say that equals name. And then we're going to go to our dog details and add another output. So we're going to go right down here and say output change name change. Event emitter, and now this event emitter is going to emit a string just like that. And then let's say we want to change the name using an input, so we're going to say handle name change right here, and say this dot name change dot emit, and we're going to emit that name change. So let's go ahead and get that event. And right up here, we're going to add an input, and then we're going to say on change, on that input change, we're going to handle name change, and we're going to get that event just like that. And it's going to be of type text. Let's go ahead and save that and save that. And let's go ahead and console.log e.target, because this should be an HTML event that happens here. And we're not going to emit just yet. Go over here. And we did that on, pretty sure we did that on Harry. So we go to Harry and we say name, right? And it says undefined. And that is because I said target event instead of target value. Let's go ahead back and we go to Harry and we change the name to Mike. And there we go, Mike. We got our Mike right there. So now we take that out and we want to go ahead and pass Mike. So we say e.target.value here. Pass that to the name change and we go back to our app components. And you see that it's already changing the name for change dog one. So now if I save that, go back, and we change Harry to Mike, you'll see that it changes as soon as I press enter, just like that. So that's just another way you could use it. We can also use different events from this, so we could use it on the input. So whenever the input changes, it changes the name, but that would just be a lot of work for your application after a while. So definitely try to do it on something that doesn't change a lot, but that definitely works. In the next video, we'll go over how to make a component using the CLI.